Chers collègues, avant de céder la parole au président Cordeiro, je tiens à souligner l'excellence des relations qu'entretiennent le Comité européen des régions et la CALRE, que ce soit dans le cadre du projet Contribution des débats politiques au sein des parlements régionaux qui vise à influencer le programme de travail annuel de la Commission européenne durant la phase prélégislative et pour lequel 8 contributions ont été adressées au Comité des régions, que ce soit dans le cadre de la cohésion sur laquelle j'ai régulièrement l'occasion de m'exprimer au nom de notre conférence, ou encore de l'Alliance pour la reconstruction de l'Ukraine que j'évoquais à l'entame de notre réunion, je ne peux que me réjouir du fait que nos deux institutions continuent d'avancer ensemble dans une optique de promotion de la démocratie régionale. Monsieur le Président, je vous donne la parole.
Muito obrigado pela oportunidade, muito obrigado também pelo convite que me foi dirigido para poder estar hoje aqui convosco. É para mim uma honra poder estar hoje aqui nesta reunião e poder dirigir-me como Presidente do Comitê das Regiões a todos os seus membros e a todos os seus elementos. Caro Presidente Marcourt, ontem tivemos a oportunidade de estar juntos no encontro de lançamento da Aliança das Cidades e das Regiões da Europa para a reconstrução da Ucrânia e hoje estamos aqui juntos nesta reunião do Comitê da CALRE. And what I would like to stress in this meeting and in this intervention is, first of all, a greeting to all of its members. And of course, I think you will allow me a special reference to my President, President Luis Garcia from the Parliament of the Azores. So he's my boss. And let me say it is, as member of regional parliament, being elected as president of the Committee of the Regions. And I had the opportunity to stress that during my speech is also very important because the decision of, I'm not the first one, I have also here by my side President Karl-Heinz Lamberts, who was president of the Committee of the Regions and is also president of a political assembly, of a regional assembly. But it's very, very important to have this kind of recognition, but also this kind of act with political significance to regions and to political assemblies all across Europe. We live at the present circumstances very troubling times. We are still getting out of a pandemic. We are facing a war with all its economic, social, and political consequences. And in all these aspects, in all these issues, in all these emergencies, regions were the ones who were in the forefront, demonstrating that we not only can take political stances on these issues, but mainly we are the first ones to make it happen. When we proclaim solidarity, regions and cities across Europe were the first ones to make it happen during the pandemic. Not only creating measures, not only creating initiatives that help save lives, but also creating initiatives that help save jobs, businesses, income for families. And I think this is very, very important, not only on a practical term, but also from a political point of view. During the war in Ukraine, once again, regions and cities were the ones that were in the forefront of welcoming refugees. And yesterday, I had the opportunity to make a special reference to the fact that CALRE is one of our partners in the European Alliance of Cities and Regions for the Reconstruction of Ukraine. Why I think it's so important? Because CALRE is one of the institutions that brings together these two levels. The political one, with assemblies taking political stance and positions on this issue, but also the fact that are regional, they represent the importance of regions tackling these challenges in a very practical terms. So, President Marcourt, it was really a pleasure and an honor having you yesterday, but especially having you as partner of the Committee of the Regions in this alliance. Because it's very important that when all across Europe sometimes the role and the importance of regions and cities are seen more in an administrative way, in practical terms, the fact that CALRE is our partner, and you, President Marcourt, was there yesterday, represents also the political significance of regions through their assemblies or with legislative powers of taking that kind of stance and that kind of action. So allow me once more, President Marcourt, that to thank you for being available to be partner in this initiative, and also to be the fact that you were there yesterday in our launching ceremony of the Alliance. There is also not only challenges that arise from this kind of situations, but also there is a very strong challenge for regions and cities across Europe, and of course for regions with legislative powers, and that is the conference, the post-conference on the future of Europe. I would like to stress that because there are several issues at stake here. The first one is something that I feel frustrated by the fact that other European institutions weren't able to live up to this moment. The almost ashamed reaction of the Council of the European Union about the conclusions of the conference, well, the Council was one of the institutions that asked citizens to participate. The Commission, the Parliament. And now, when you have this massive exercise of participation, at the end what you say is, we take due note. Something is missing here. And I think it's up to institutions like CALRE, under your leadership, President Marcourt, like the Committee of the Regions and other institutions to say, wait a minute, that's not what we've been here for. We've participated, we want to participate, but I think it's a lack of respect for people, for citizens, who took their time, had, if you want to see it in the most practical terms, had expenses to participate, to make their voice heard, just to take due note. Well, I think regions, cities, and citizens must also take due note of the behavior of the Council of the European Union. Now, I would like also to give you a very brief insight of what I think lies ahead from the Committee of the Regions' point of view during the next 2.5 years. I think all this context and all this situation places us before several challenges. And I think the answer to those challenges, the way we can overcome them, lies in 3 ideas or 2 main ideas that I would like to share with you, if you allow me. The first one is this situation demonstrates that we need a stronger and fairer Europe for all. And a stronger Europe begins with its democratic life. Because Europe can be stronger if citizens are more involved, if citizens feel more represented, if the democratic mechanisms of participation are accountable. And I would like to praise one of the initiatives of President Karl-Heinz Lamberts to propose a permanent mechanism of consultation to citizens across Europe. So stronger Europe means also this, not only about the competencies, not only about the reach, but the way the democratic life in Europe is lived. This makes a stronger Europe. And the fairer Europe also means, and I think it's important to stress that, of course, we have what we may call civilizational challenges, gender balance, the inclusion of LGBTIQ citizens. But let us never forget that the fairer Europe for all also means that people need an answer when they fear for their job. They fear if they will have the possibility to give their kids access to education, to health. This is also a way of Europe becoming fairer. So this does not mean that we can diminish the importance of any other aspect. This means we must not forget these ones, because our communities across Europe also feel this need, also are afraid. And Europe is the answer. Europe must be the answer addressing those afraid. And that's a way to make it fairer, but also a way to make it stronger. The second idea that I think, and I will conclude very quickly, the second idea I think it's important to stress is one of the biggest challenges regions and cities across Europe will face in the next 3 years. What's the fate of cohesion policy? What's the fate of cohesion policy? I think we have to mobilize ourselves to defend it. Mobilize ourselves to make a very strong, to hold our ground, because cohesion policy touches the very essence of the European dream, touches the very essence of the European idea, of the European project. Of course, and I think everybody understands, that we had to put cohesion policy to work to address emergency needs. Nobody would understand if this wasn't done this way. But never forget the importance and the structural importance of cohesion policy. But let us never forget that the best way to defend cohesion policy is not within European institutions. It's with us, regions and cities. Because the best way to defend it is to use it and use it wisely. So we have to be aware of that. But the time has come, I think, that we must join forces to defend this so important policy, not only for regions, not only for cities, but this most important policy for Europe. Exactly because, and I will finish with this, it touches the very essence, the very core of the political idea of Europe, no one left behind. President Marcourt, I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here today with you. I look forward to working with you in the future within the context, not only within the context of CALRE. I think there is a lot of work to be done, and I would like to join you in your appreciation about the partnership, about the work that has been done between CALRE and the Committee of the Regions. I am at your disposal for what I am at your disposition, whatever you need. I think we have a lot of work to do, and I look forward to having the possibility to achieve these results and the goals we've set. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for giving me the time. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président Cordeiro, pour votre message, mais aussi pour ce que vous proposez, ce que vous allez faire au niveau du Comité des régions. Et vous pouvez compter sur la CALRE, et je pense pouvoir parler au nom de mes collègues, pour s'engager résolument dans la défense du Comité des régions, de la CALRE et surtout de la défense des citoyens et d'améliorer la vie de nos concitoyens et de soutenir la démocratie et la paix dans ces périodes troublées. Merci de votre temps et de votre présence.